Hello guys, Yoga the Programmer here, back with another video in this Python RPG series. Now, I still have yet to decide whether to separate any of these functions into different files or to continue on with our starting scene. Because I know some of these functions, I don't know. Some of this stuff is just starting up, and I feel like we could just get that done in separate files to just put that in separate files so we don't have to deal, so we don't have a mess of that really. Currently, how many files do we already have actually now? Very interesting. Quite a few. Here we go over here. 8 minus 1 because let's go include this one, which is 7. As you can see, that's 7 files. Indeed. So, yeah. Like stuff like displaying that, we could just put that somewhere else. Character creation, again, we could just put that somewhere else. We don't have to really. But like stuff like, you know, reading and stuff, like we could just put those into separate files. So if we look at, for example, buildings, generate buildings, for example, we could just copy out all the building stuff and just put them into separate files, really. So we currently do have a building class. So what we could do inside the building class is also have those files, everything to do with buildings, but not be part of the class, but exist as part of the file. So what are the building? Are these just the building files? Yeah. So if we were to, for example, copy all this, delete that, and to move it over here, for example, what we could say is instead of say generate buildings, what we could say is we could say build. What we have to say is we have to say building dot. Oh no, or can we still say generate buildings? Because we import building, copy, comma. See how we then have to say generate buildings, comma, copy, import that module, that method. The thing is, then it returns us. If I go through this, right, so the generate, right, so the generate build, where's the generate buildings function actually? I don't even see it here. Where is it? Here it is. Get building files, so it loads up all this, then it goes on to the create building. The create building then does this, it appends it, buildings are append. Will that still work? Will that still work? Let's complain that OS is okay, that's fine, we can just import OS. That's one this file, just import OS. Buildings is not, yeah, it's going to complain that buildings is not defined. Can we import from the Python RPG dot? Could we just import Python RPG, for example? Would that just import all the variables? Cannot import net. Oh, where's this referring to? Interesting. Cannot import building because reasons. Because I'm trying to import Python RPG onto it. Generate buildings is not defined. Then you compare that generate buildings is not defined. However, if I then say over here, buildings dot or building dot generate building, would you complain about that? Yes, because you're saying building's not defined. Oh, this can be tricky. how can I then reference? How would I then reference? I can't like say Python RPG dot. No. That's the issue. I can't really reference, can I? Of course, once classes, yeah, that's fine. But these are functions. Can't really do that, can you? Unless building itself, the building class itself, had an array of buildings. Okay. Let's just undo all these changes. Okay. Might have to just leave this for now. Okay, so start screen. So of course, we probably want to do is they get a list of possible commands or whatever that they can do. So when you press monk up here, you find yourself in the middle of what's known as you don't know that you got here. You search pockets for any clues. Oh, fuck. See that again? Okay. Do you go? Monk. All you know is that you need to get to a church. So that, I don't know, that could be like your first quest or something like that. Get into a church. So, of course, what you should be able to say over here is you should be able to come here and put on, I don't know, say north, and you travel north, or something like that, or view inventory or something like that. You should be able to do stuff like that. So, if we go over here to our request action, we've got over here a couple of actions. The next action, what we're going to have here is action input in inventory. You have the option to type in inventory or I. So one of the options, and for now it does nothing. For now, but it's there. But anyway, one of the things we had to do with was we had to get the buildings to be all randomized in different places. So one of the things we should do is we should also then in the check movement. We should also then check to see if there's any buildings there as well. So just thinking of it. Did we get the buildings all working out or no? Are the buildings all working out? Say here for building in buildings. So print me out the building dot posx, comma building. First of all, it's building dot type followed by in string format the building dot posx, followed by another string building pos y. Control F5, play, monk. Right, okay, so we're having issues again with the randomizer buildings. So that's an issue. So yeah, we're having issues with placing buildings apparently. So we need to look into that. It could be because I moved into a different file and it's caused a logical bug. That's what this is called. It's a logical bug. Castle, church, and tavern all seem to have 0 positions. That's wrong, of course. So we need to look at the building. And building we have is set random location. Okay, so the reason why is because we actually commented out. Okay, because I think there was a bug with this when I ran it last time, and I said that I would fix it. So let's try. Okay, buildings is not defined. Issues. Buildings is not defined. Oh, great. Not a good start, is it? Can I pass in? Can I pass in something? Can I pass in buildings? So that means, then can I come over here, and when I actually generate a building, not when I generate a building actually, I don't want to do it when I generate a building, I'm just thinking about, no, you don't want to do it when you're generating a building. You don't want to do it then. You don't want to do it then, because then you're just going to create an array of just one building each time is what you're going to do when you compare and create building, append building, build type. I'm thinking, should I just create in the building class? Oh, I also have this. Let me get rid of this. Don't need that. Should I just create here buildings? Should I create the array over here inside the class of building? Not that one. I don't want that one. The one is the Python RPG. When you're on the Python RPG, building is not defined. The reason why it's not defined is because the class doesn't have it. The class doesn't get the building. Doesn't get it. That's a problem because they're set random. There's one solution could be, therefore we do not have this function inside there. That could be a solution to that. So instead, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to say, oh yeah, set building random pos instead. Is what we may just have to do, and we just pass over here the building object. Let's pass this for now. So then, what we do over here or actually what we do when we get the object, when we actually append it, what we can also do when we actually append it, as you can see we're appending over here appending over that building, what we can also do is, first of all, let's actually generate over here new building. Let's actually create the objects over here, building type. Then let's do over here new building, just pass over the new building onto the array. Then what we can just say is that we can say here, oh yeah, set building random pos, and we just can pass with the new building as well. What else can we do with this? Nothing else really. Okay, we can just do something like that instead. So then in the set building random pos, we have this building. What we need to do is we need to loop around. Essentially, if we just copy this for now, we're going to create two new variables. Now we don't need to loop because because we have the building already. So we have this building. We're going to create two variables over here. And what we're going to do is what we have to do is we just have to check, do these new variables, does this new random x and y position equal the player pods? If it doesn't, then great, you can use them, right? Or you continue down. Then let's loop around through all the buildings that exist. Do these x and y's exist with any existing building? No? Okay, fine, set it. Right? That means we can then get rid of this, the set random, and we can just have it with initiate, and that's it. For now. We don't need anything else. Control F5. Will it work? My player is not defined. Okay, so now let's complain that my player is not defined. Why is my player not defined? Because we're telling it to because at the time it generates the buildings, then my player's not been created yet. So that's unfortunate. That's annoying. Because the my players not defined. Nor is the world data actually defined, so we don't actually know. Oh, that. Solution, we move the generate buildings somewhere else. That's something we could do. Or we could just tell it to call upon this later. We don't have to, we just tell it to call upon it later instead. You know, we could just say over here, well, what would that mean? Well, that will mean we have to do for building in buildings, right? We would have to do this, definitely. We have to do it for each building. We'd have to do that, so that means we would have to get rid of this part. That means get rid of this. And then we'll just have to say set building random pause. Somewhere else, which will be probably after the player. Or after the world's been created, let's also randomize then the building. That's a quick little fix that we can use instead. So when we say monk now, self is. I want to complain about self. Let me see that again. Exited that too quickly. Monk. Self.pause. You're referring to what? Self. Oh, is it because I'm referencing self? Okay, that's not what I'm supposed to do. What I should do is I should say, oh, I have to call this something else, won't I? For building object in buildings. So for building objects in buildings, what I have to say then is I have to say building object dot posX. Just do that instead. Will that fix my issue? Now, play monk. If I just have the middle of what is known as Kleiner, I guess. All you know is that you need to get to a church. So church is at 1-8. Not church. So, I can't read. Castle is at 1-8. Church is at 2631, and tavern is also at 2623. However, so this time the church and tavern are the same x position. However, their y-axis is different. So essentially, if we look at from the position of the centre, the church is up north, and the tavern is down south. However, from the centre, which is 16, both the church and tavern are both northwards. However, if we look at the point of view between the church and the tavern in the y-axis, the church will be north and the tavern will be southwards. So if we're in the middle between those two, if we went south, we will be at the tavern, and if we were in the middle between those two, and we went north, we will be at the church. Castle is down below, not exactly 0-0, but down, in the south. Of course, this will change. This is not always the same. So if I just control F5 and go somewhere else, so let's say play. Go somewhere else, right? Let's let this time our play as the knight. Should really make a difference. Find yourself in the middle of what is known as boat right. Boat right, interesting now has a space though. I need to check that out. Don't remember. Yeah, can't find nothing. You need to get to a castle. This time the castle's at 0-0, for example. It's random. And this time the church is at 2331 and the tavern's 27-9. So this time, definitely, the tavern is south, near to the castle, in terms of the y-axis. Well, the castle is right at the. Depends if you look at. Depends. This actually depends if you look at 0-0 being on the. You can either look at. You can either think about it as either being, first of all, in the middle. You could, but you could if you wanted to. But mostly, it will either be in the top left or the bottom left. It really depends on what side you're looking at. I don't know. Is that these positions? Is that these X positions? I feel like if I move south, I'm moving down the Y position. So I'm guessing. Okay, so I'm guessing Y will be all the way at the bottom instead of it'll be at the bottom. Yeah, so I guess we're looking for the bottom left. That's what we're looking at. 0-0 originating from. Now, boat right, interestingly, seems to have a space. Why is that the case? Why does that have a space? Is it because I just left a space in the text file? If so, let me fix that. Names. World. If so, let me fix that. Yes, it is. But right. And nothing else? Yeah, nothing else seems to have switched. Okay, so that's but right fixed. Okay, so we fixed. So yeah, that's just your position of where the buildings are. That's nothing else really important. So now what needs to happen is, first of all, I'm probably gonna actually keep that printed, and the reason for why that is so that I can actually see where these things are at. But what I want to do is I want to say over here is when you move, we check the movement, and in check movement, I want to call out. First of all, we check to see if it's in the world feed. If it is, then I want to conduct is a function called check for building. Check for building. And what this check for building will do is simply we'll just check for if there's a building there. So under here buildings, we're going to have here is a def check. This video is going a bit long, but let's just quickly do this. Check for building, and we're going to say over here, we're going to pass over here, I guess, the variables x and y as well. Or we can have this new x and new y that we're proposing. This is the new variables we're proposing. We're going to pass these as x and y. X and y. What we're going to say over here is for building in buildings, if building dot posx is equal to the x, and building dot pos_y is equal to y. Don't know why that took a while. Return true. And if it's done all this, and if it's done all the other four and it can't come up, then I think we'll just return false. If it fails to do, if after looping it found nothing, it never returned this, then it will just return false. So that means, well, what we can do is, when we come over here, what we'll do is, in the check movement, okay, here we go. What we're going to do, we can say here, if check building, that if it finds anything, print building has been found. Exclamation mark. Else we'll just make it equal to that. Okay. Okay. So let's play. There you go. I'm gonna be a monk. Find yourself in the middle of what's known as a spot. You don't remember how to get there, nor why you need to get there. You search your pockets looking for any clues and you find nothing. All you know is that you need to head to a church. So we're at 1616. So let's think about it. We're at 1616. So what can we do? Well, we've got a church there at 15. Then we also got a tavern at 15. Now 15 and 12 is closer. It's closer to 1616. So we probably can reach the tavern much quicker. So tavern is at 15. We are currently at position 16. So to reach the tavern, we need to move west. Damn it, new X is not defined. Bugs. Oh yeah, I need to call it X, don't I? Oh, silly me. Yeah, silly. I could use it for I could then change the check for building function to use new X and new Y. That's fine. We'll just keep it as X. It's fine. Diego. Now I need to calculate which way is the quick way. You find yourself in the middle of what's known as Blackridge Pool. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember how I got it. You find nothing. Yes. All you know is you need to get to church. Yeah. Okay. So church is actually the closest this time. So we need to move east in the x-axis. So we move east in the x-axis. Now it doesn't actually report our position again, so I actually completely forgot where the hell the church is. I need to write this down. Control F5. I need to write this down. Where the hell? I can get a pen. I need to write this down because I need to get myself some paper for here because I need to write down where the hell this place is at. Already, we've got these places. Fine, we'll go to the bloody church again. So that's 24, 9. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make sure I'm keeping count because it doesn't actually display. So 16. So we're gonna go east. That should be now 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Hopefully I'm correct. 16, so 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Yes! I don't know if you saw that. It said building was found. So, we are moving around the world fantastically. It's working okay-ish, I guess. I don't want to report back our position, but we're not getting any feedback on what's going on. So we probably want to add that in the next video. So, but you have to subscribe so you know when I actually upload that video, and like this video if you did. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Goodbye.